Well, Jen, there's no need to start this interview at any point today. We don't have to start. We'll just keep chit-chatting.
I just need something in case I have a thought to write down.
That's good. This is going to take a while.
Mine? Yours?
Here, you know what? We'll just not do the interview. Let's just have it just be this.
I love that idea. Yeah. You're recording.
Yep, let's go.
I'm going to sit here.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you, girl. This is going to go great.
Hates me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. You sound fantastic. Do not say a word until I say, what makes you love real estate? Tell us. Nary a peep before then. Do you understand? If I hear you, we're starting over. What? I heard that. Was that the last sound you're going to make? Okay, great.
Promise.
Oh, Lord. This is why you don't interview your friends. Oh, hi. You're listening to Service from Hell, a podcast featuring people that are currently in customer service positions or the lucky few that got out and all of the good, bad, and infinitely irritating things that go along with that work. I'm actor and comic Kate Gaffney, and I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this as I used to work at a very busy and very popular comedy club in Los Angeles. And at least one of you listening right now has probably grabbed me and told me you're ready to order when I was running around like a crazy person. So let's eat. Ooh, now I'm going to put on my official voice. Jennifer Brookley is a California native and oh shit, I skipped. Hold on. I'd like to welcome our guest, Jennifer Brookley.
It's overrated.
Shush. You're not supposed to talk yet. Now I do my official voice. Jennifer Brookley is a California native and real estate agent who represents sellers and buyers in Los Angeles and Ventura County. She has over 25 years of customer service experience and exudes a passion for helping people. Jennifer specializes in firsts: first-time seller, first-time buyer, first time with home inheritance, properties, or probate. I don't know what any of that means. She says, quote, "No task is too small or too big to propel my client's newest chapter with minimal pressure and maximum laughter." Can confirm she's very funny. Go back, Kate, normal voice. No, presentational voice. She has also recently published a book on what to do with an inherited home, as well as her new 2024 home buyer and home seller guides. What a good intro. I wrote that. No, I didn't. I better know Jennifer, who I know Jen as Jen, so I may call her that. Apologies, everyone. From working with her at Hard Rock Cafe 100 billion years ago and traversing the acting world out here in the great city that should be its own country of Los Angeles. So we got through it in one take. So Jennifer, what do you miss about Hard Rock? What makes you love real estate? Tell us.
Can I talk now?
No, I'm going to say more. So Jennifer, yeah.
Wait, what was the first question?
Really?
What do I miss about Hard Rock?
Yes.
The people. Absolutely nothing else.
Good answer.
The people I work with, yourself included, whom I don't get to see enough.
That's
so
true.
Thank you for asking me to be on this.
Thank you for
because
saying yes.
It's a pleasure and a joy. Hard Rock.
We'll go into it later. Let's talk about real estate. Real estate's more positive. So what do you love about real estate?
What do I love about real estate? I love that it is all the things of the service industry that I actually like.
Oh.
I like, well, I kind of like people and I kind of don't like people, you know?
That's real.
I think it's a little medium in between. But the reality is I do generally like meeting new people. I grew up internationally, so that was huge for me. To get into an industry where it felt like I got an opportunity to meet a ton of different people and help them with things that they actually needed help with. I know a lot of people think real estate is like salesy, but like the reality is you can't force someone to spend $1 million+ to buy something. Like you just can't. So to me, it's not a sales business because you're not selling something that somebody already wants. You're providing something, hopefully, that somebody already wants. And if you feel like somebody's selling to you, then you need a new realtor because that's not how it should feel. Part of the reason why, really fast, I got hired at Hard Rock, actually, I said the magic word or the magic phrase. So are we allowed to use names?
Yeah, it's your show, girl. I can't wait.
Ponchetti was there.
I have opinions. Keep my mouth shut.
But I had just actually had an interview at Carl Strauss, and I thought I was a shoo-in. I'm going to get this job, no problem. I did not get the job. The girl who got the job was wearing a very low cut dress, blah, blah, blah. I was in LA yet. I was living in Ventura and deciding to move to LA at the time. And so I was looking for a job because I was back home with my folks. I had just moved back from London. Long story there. And I thought for sure I'd get the job. Well, then I saw Hard Rock was hiring. Tons of people were there. Happened to be hiring day. I go in. I was like, I guess I'll apply. I have been to Hard Rock in probably 20 cities internationally. Like between that and like Planet Hollywood.
Oh, they were touchstones.
They were touchstones.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, you could always just get a burger. And my little brother was the pickiest kid in the world. So every time we went to a Hard Rock, like we knew what we could eat and like that we'd have a good experience. And we're a big music family. So it was good for me. So I go in there and he's like, like, what do you... God, that's his word. But he's
so smarmy.
Like, when you're giving... service to somebody, like, what are like the top things? And I was like, oh, obviously you want a good experience.
And was that it?
That was it. It's the word experience. He's like, well, I don't know if you know this about Hard Rock, but we basically have a kick-ass experience and that's what we offer our guests.
I'm going to vomit in my mouth.
I know. But as much as I hate to say it, that's totally how customer service works. And being in the real estate industry, that's what I offer. Like, people ask you all the time, like, I don't know if anybody else is familiar with real estate or realtors, but there are literally a dime a dozen. There are so many. You could throw a coin and hit a realtor easily.
Especially in LA.
Especially in LA. And that's great. I think...
You don't mean that, girl. And that's great.
No.
What you
It's
mean?
great because of what my mother said growing up. She goes... There's a lid for every pot. Aww. Not every realtor is for every person. There are personalities for everybody, which is why it's so great. And when I got into real estate, my mentor at the time said to me, there is plenty of business for everybody. Mm. And I like that attitude. I like going into it. And so when I hear friends of mine who say they want to go into real estate or like, hey, I'm getting my license, my first thing that I say to them is there's plenty of business for everybody. And if you're good at your job, the business will come. Now, I think there's a misnomer that people think real estate is easy. You're just going to get in and make tons of money because of our favorite shows like Selling Sunset and, House Hunters, whatever. But the reality is, it is a full-time job and it's hard work. And you are not just showing houses and putting out signs and baking cookies saying, I will sell this house. It's beyond that. It's like you're a marketer, you're a social media mogul. You have to understand advertising and relationships. You have to go to all the events, go to all the functions. You have to schmooze, as much as I hate doing that. But you also get to be really social. Like anytime somebody invites me to something, as much as I don't want to go, I feel like I have to go because it's good to show my face and to be available and present. So
how do you fight up or butt up against the old trope of, actor turned real estate agent? There you are again. Like, how do you butt up against that?
I don't fight it. It's true. I think half the realtors I know used to be actors. And guess what? There's a reason we're not actors anymore. It's not our thing. I grew up thinking from the time I remember I had a birthday party or somebody did. And it was like, dress as you want to be when you grow up, right? One of those things. And I showed up as Lucille Ball.
Oh,
that was what I was going to be when I grew up.
Jen has red hair for anyone that hasn't met her.
And it's natural. Just
yeah,
saying.
Sure is. And she's single, so get after it. Keep going.
I mean, yes, that's true. And my phone number is, no, just kidding.
555.
867-5309.
Nice. So you showed up as Lucille Ball.
I showed up as Lucille Ball. And that's what I wanted to be. I was into comedy. I like physical comedy. I liked being on stage. I like performing. Like I was sure 100% that is what I was going to do. No question about it. Going to school, my dad and I had a huge argument. He's like, you're going to college. And I'm like, I'm not going to college. And he's like, you are going. And I'm like, I'm not. I decided to go to college.
It's a good impression of yourself. Keep going.
Totally sounds like me. I'm that. That actually was probably accurate for the time.
Yeah. And now?
I'd like to think I've matured since then. Yeah. So I ended up going because my dad was like, oh, you know what? You should be a nurse, right? Like, be a nurse because they're really good with people and you're really good with people. I mean, I see his logic here. And he's like, and you can go to Long Beach and that's close to Los Angeles. You choose your hours and then, you know, you can be an actor. So I was like, oh, okay. So I got accepted to Long Beach State. And then I went there for acting.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you're going to be a full-time nurse on your feet, cleaning up barf and shit and watching people die. And then what are you going to go take an acting class?
You know, I am full of family of nurses. My aunt's a nurse. My sister-in-law's a nurse. I know a lot of nurses. My cousin, she's not a nurse, but she does respiratory therapy for children. Basically, I have a lot of saints in my family.
Yeah.
My cousin-in-law and my other cousin studying to be a nurse. Like, we're full of good, caring people. That is not me.
You're a good, caring person. My mom's a nurse too. I so appreciate, I so appreciate people that want to do that.
Yeah.
I could never.
No.
It ain't for me. So wait, how did you get past your dad's judgment of you being like, by the way, my major is acting?
I think he just thought I would stop.
Don't they always?
You know, men often think that I will stop with things, and I just don't.
What a read on yourself.
Don't do that.
You're the only one. You're the only female on the planet that's true for. I'm definitely not someone like that.
I'm the only one. I'm uniquely
gifted in that way.
Yeah, it's me.
So you major in acting.
So I majored in acting, and then I graduated. I decided I didn't want to start life, so I moved to London and worked there for a while, and I moved back.
As an actor?
No, because I was on a student work visa. I wasn't actually allowed to work as an actor on the visa that I was there for. So instead, I sold tickets at the Ambassador Theater Group.
That's brutal. Well, didn't that hurt?
No, it was fantastic.
Oh, you
I got
liked
to
it?
go to
Okay.
so many free shows while I was there. I saw everything
amazing.
for free.
Oh, that's the best part.
It was great. And I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm young. I'm just living life. Like, who cares? Worked at a bar, like found a roommate and, you know, we got a flat. I mean, that's a whole story in itself. But I moved back, lived with my folks, and then, you know, had to start life, started doing acting, and turns out I hate the business of acting. So I think a lot of realtors who were actors didn't like the business of acting. And I think that's the biggest problem with acting today is, you know, especially if anybody's gone to school for that, they don't teach you the business of it. They teach you the craft, which is really important, obviously. But you can continue with those. Like, it's easy to find a teacher to teach you how to act. It's really hard to find somebody to teach you how to business. And also, I thought I wasn't smart. So there was that.
I don't love that.
Yeah, I was never good at math. Like, that wasn't ever my thing. And I thought, like, if you're not good at math, you're, like, not a smart person.
Oh, well,
like
shit. If math and sciences are the aptitude test for intellect, you can just go ahead and throw me into remedial preschool because that is not for me either. It's a hard metric because that's what society uses as the metric.
Totally.
Yeah. But boy, I can write you an essay that'll knock your butt off.
I bet you can.
Yeah, I bet you can too.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen my property descriptions.
They're pretty great. They're pretty great.
I mean,
She wrote her own. You wrote your own bio, so that was pretty great.
But I also sent it to a friend who's a copywriter and was like, "Is this terrible?"
She's like, "Let me punch this up."
She did.
Okay, so
because I'm prepared.
Yeah, you are, and I appreciate
how to do stuff right.
I don't mind that at all. Okay, so you graduate with the degree.
Mm-hmm.
You come back from London. You're like, here we go, acting world. Now we'll get into the jobs in the next section.
Yeah,
but get us up to how real estate kind of got onto your radar.
So I was working at an office for an undisclosed yogurt company.
They charge too much. I want to name them because they raised their prices and now I can't go there.
Well, I can tell you all about how the pricing structure works, and it makes a lot of sense, and you'll understand and have a little compassion.
None. Zero compassion.
I know. You can blame the economy for that. But anyways, dairy prices went out the roof one year when I was there, and it was
Thanks,
like
Obama.
a whole thing. Mm-hmm. But anyways, at the time, actually, I was working for their sister company, a pizza company. And actually, before that, anyways, doesn't matter. I was there with a coworker, and
you were where? At the yogurt place?
Yogurt place.
Okay.
Corporate office. And he was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so great if we took these classes and we became realtors and we like sold houses together? And I was like, yeah, that'd be super fun.
Is that man really masculine and straight?
Super.
Okay, got it. Keep going.
Which is why I was like, yeah, that would be a blast.
Super fun.
We had so much fun. And so we signed up for these online courses. And of course, I think like 3 months in, he like
deuces.
Yeah, he like let it go. He's like, oh, are you still doing that? And I was like, 2 courses later, I was like, yeah,
I'm mean it.
Legitimately doing it because I actually like it. So I love design. I love like my hobbies. Like I like to flip furniture and build things. I have tons of power tools, and it's just what I appreciate. And I loved House Hunters. Like I loved TLC's. Like what is the one where they
flipper flop,
or they swap houses and then they do each other's trading spaces. That was the big thing.
I loved
Remember
that show.
And then they brought it back and it was terrible. But the original was great.
You're fully out of entertainment. You're like, I'm reading all the shows I hate.
Yeah, pretty much. You gone. But yeah, no. So I loved all those shows, and I just love going to houses, and I could talk about houses, and I'm blessed with a vision beyond what the average person can see. So if somebody goes into a house and it's like totally in disarray or full with clutter or things, and it's like, okay, well, if you were going to do this, it would look like X, Y, and Z to fit your style. You could tear down a wall here or not. Here are all the things you probably could DIY yourself to save money. You know, not everybody's willing to do that.
I was gonna say, I've never heard of a real estate agent going that far. I love that.
Yeah.
That would make me excited to buy a house. If someone were just like, here's a house, and I'm like, I gotta give you commission for you just like showing me there's a house available. I can do that on my own.
Totally. Well, and that's the whole thing is like the real job of the realtor is to help you satisfy what your own vision is for yourself. Which is like, some people know what that is, and to a T. They're like, I want exactly this. And some people don't know what it is they want. So you have to show them a couple of different options to be able to be like, oh, this works for you, this doesn't. And also know that, like, I always thought it was such an asshole thing to do on that, one of those home flip shows where Property Brothers, they'd bring you to the super nice house that's like all done and super expensive, and they're like, and you can't afford it.
Yeah, it's such a good
but
feeling.
But then like, you can afford this
hug.
if you do, you know, all of these things, which is similar, but also most people can't do that either. Not in California.
No.
Not the average first-time home buyer, or, you know, like, or even the first-time home seller, you know, because you're basically taking a step up.
Yeah.
More money or whatever. But you can see something and be like, okay, can I live with this? Question number 1. And in the next few years, what could I do? Because the idea of when you buy a house is that eventually you will continue to do well in your life, right? So you will have more money. The mortgage will stay the same because that doesn't increase. So you will be having a larger gap between what you owe and what you have. And that's how you accrue, you know, personal wealth.
That's awesome, Jen. What a succinct way of describing it.
Yeah, it's very simple.
How, so he guy, the football player, introduces you.
About him.
Yeah. So he introduces you to,
you got to keep me on track. I don't know what I'm talking. I'll just talk all day long.
No, I love it. He introduces you to real estate. You start taking the classes. You're like, yo, this is for me.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not for me.
I signed up for the test, and then I kept not passing the test.
I was going to ask because it's so hard. It's one of the most competitive real estate tests in the country.
Yeah. So I've seen contracts in other states, and they are nothing. Our contracts in California are 18 pages. I helped my grandparents facilitate a sale with a local realtor in Idaho, and their contract was, I think, 5 or 6 pages. And I'm like, where are all the disclosures? You're going to get sued.
What it speak to me like because I truly know nothing. What does disclosure mean in this case?
A disclosure would be like
I got mold.
Like telling you all the liabilities about the house. But that also includes like explaining timelines. Like when we say 5 days after start of escrow, there's actually an entire page of definitions on the California real estate offer or listing that explains what each little phrase means. Most people don't take the time to read it, but if you wanted to, you could.
Although it's not like it's the Apple user terms and agreement. I mean, this is a contract for your house. I think I would read it.
I mean,
Most people don't. I know most people don't.
And I explain it to them. And I'm actually very good with contracts and explaining things, but also, it's a liability. You should definitely read your contracts yourself, and ask all the questions. And if you have a realtor who doesn't know how to answer them,
fire them and hire you.
well, absolutely. You should all fire your realtors and hire me, but that's just my opinion.
I agree. So there's 18-page
So
contracts that are insane.
Yeah, it's like 18-page contracts, all this stuff. But anyway, so I signed up to do it, and we had some. So basically, I wasn't sure I was going to pass. I wasn't confident about it, and my cousin's son had passed away, and I was supposed to take the test in 2 weeks, and I wasn't sure if I should do it. It was a big loss for our family, but mostly my cousin. Obviously, he was 4. His name was Mason.
I can't.
And amazing things came out of that. That's how my cousin became a respiratory therapist.
I'm gonna cry.
And she's amazing, and he's amazing, and was amazing. And anyways, there was a lot of stuff going on. I didn't think I would pass, and it was one of those things that, like, looking back on all of the shit jobs I've had, and I did a lot of random jobs. I think when I first moved to Los Angeles and I was working at Hard Rock, I actually had 5 jobs at the time.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yep,
and I don't know how I had so much time for partying, but I did.
Girl, we fit it in, didn't we? We fit it in.
Did I do that? But, it was kind of like one of those things that I was, everybody does their own thing. Okay, great. I believe in a higher power. So that's how it works for me. And I kind of was like, I said a prayer before I went in, and I was like, listen, if this is what I'm supposed to do, help me pass. And I swear to you, on that test, they asked all about commercial real estate, about brokers and things like that were not seemingly applicable, and I passed. And also, which is really interesting, you go out and they immediately will tell you, oh, okay, and they print out your results because it's all electronic, and they're like, and it's just a pass or a fail.
So it's not how well you passed.
Idea how close you were or not. I could have passed with one question, or I could have got 100%.
See, my perfectionist ass would be like, I actually need to know how much I crushed it.
You can ask as much as you want.
They won't tell you.
They will not tell you.
How wild.
They will not tell you. And I don't know why. But whatever, I passed. And it was kind of felt miraculous considering all the things. And I was like, I guess this is just the next thing. And so then I was still working at that other job and pretty checked out.
I wonder why.
And then
it's because they raised their prices and your friends can't eat their yogurt anymore. Keep going.
Well, at that time, I got offered, because I was going to leave, and then I got offered to manage the pizza portion of the company.
Duh.
And run a
Team.
group. And and then another person has a lot of stuff. Anyways, the person who was in it before me was no longer there. And so I ran that franchise relations team, which was a lean team, but it was the first time I was managing people and also making better money. Looking back, it's laughable, but it was better and it was good money. And then I got tired of the way people started talking to me or continued to talk to me.
Why, Jen?
Well, Earth? As patient as I am, I'm still a redhead.
You are feisty.
Yes.
Wait, talking to you any old kind of way.
Well, okay.
Any woman in charge.
The job was, in a very simple terms, and the CEO would kill me for saying this, but essentially you're a liaison between corporate and the franchisees.
Okay.
But the goal and what we did is we helped franchisees kind of run their day-to-day business remotely, speak with vendors. We answered guest questions from Yelp and phone calls as well. And
it makes me so mad.
Basically, it was my job to tell 40 and 50-year-old men how to kind of run their business. And not everybody likes that, to be told how to do anything, first of all. Let alone
men are not into that?
Yeah, right.
Wait, pause for shock. What?
Well, but let alone a young woman, yes, doing that, who didn't go to business school.
You don't have a Wharton degree and you're telling all these men how to do it.
I know,
love it.
Right? And it's listen, just follow the plan. You bought into a franchise for a reason. This is what you do. And if you don't like it, kick rocks, But we also can't say that because it is a customer service job as well, because they bought into a service, which is helping them run their business. So you also have to like keep your cool head a little bit. And so I tried to as best as I could. And then I was like, well, I'm going to start pursuing real estate at the same time. And I told my manager at the time, I have a dog, sorry.
You told your manager at the time?
I told my manager at the time that I had passed my real estate license, and I was also going to pursue that at the same time. So I would be taking long lunches to attend the classes at the brokerage.
Love that it was not a conversation. It was I'm stating facts.
There was literally no conversation because it was at the point where I was like, fire me then.
Please do.
Which is the worst attitude.
It's a power move though, girl. Oh, I love that attitude. I love it when I'm right there.
It's great, but at the same time, it is like I don't like that attitude. It's how I know I'm getting ready to get out of something, because it's complacency, right?
Sure.
The worst thing is complacency. And
I don't know, abuse seems worse than complacency, but go ahead.
Well,
you're being abused.
Depends on who you talk to. Are you the abuser or the complacent one? But yeah, so I did that. And then I had long lunches and I did both. But then I wasn't really doing it until one day it was like a light bulb. And this particular person yelled at me for what I would say the last time. And then I went to the VP and I was like, I can't work with this guy anymore. I think you're going to have to be like their main point of contact. Which
was he a franchisee or was he?
He was a franchisee.
Well, then spill, girl.
Well, he was in a different state.
Which state?
You know what? I think it was Arkansas.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Arkansas. It was Michigan. I don't know. I worked with them all over the U.S.
And he's white.
Yes.
Oh, what? Pause for shock. Okay, and he was talking to you any old kind of way?
Yeah, he was very, very rude and yelling at me.
Explain. Why would he get to a place where he would be rude?
It would be about anything, right? Like,
God.
It would be about, timing for opening. I think he eventually opened. It would be about like food coming in and customers and like
why is any of that your business?
Franchise fees, and it's part of my job.
But I mean, why is it your business about customers? Because isn't he managing the property? Like you're not even out there.
Part of it is when you buy into a franchise, in case anybody is thinking about it, there are things that are mandated, such as the volume of your music.
What?
It goes that far, depending on the franchise. And the volume of the music had to be a certain point. You had to play specific music for the atmosphere of this particular restaurant. There was recommended that you project these old-timey films on the wall which is the cool experience, which, I mean, we didn't have rights for until I said, hey, I don't think we have rights for these. So that was then my project because I brought it up.
Of course.
And I'm like, we live in LA, so I kind of feel like
this might become an issue.
It could be in Arkansas or wherever, maybe not, but
out here it will.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that project became mine, of course, because say something and it's yours. But yeah, and so that would be the thing. And he would just lose his cool. I mean, he was just so rude.
Because he didn't want to follow the rules?
Because he didn't want to follow the rules.
Here's my thing, and we'll get more into the next section. If you don't want to follow the rules of the franchise, you can just open your own pizza place. You did not have to buy into this. You don't like it? There are so many options that don't look like you following these rules, including naming it whatever. If you want to call it Butthole Pizza, which is a great name, if you want to call it that and you want to do whatever, you want your music on full blast death metal, guess what? You're not part of a franchise. You get to do that.
Well, the other part of it is when people bought into this particular company, there was a lot of promises made. A lot of promises that were not coming to fruition.
Meaning financial promises?
Correct.
They can't, you can't guarantee that.
Not promises, expectations.
That were set in place by the...
So the way that it works when you buy a franchise is there is a document that's produced every year that basically tells kind of the last year's production of the franchise. So what to expect. This particular franchise opened their doors and sold 500 units before they opened their doors.
Wait, that's not English. Meaning units of like locations where other...
locations to open the franchise without any actual proof or facts of what you would make. So
how? They just lied? Or they did astral projection?
They did projections. Like, we think this, that, and the other. And this one particular location, when it opened, actually did really, really well.
So everything was the numbers came from that one spot. And they're like, therefore.
Usually.
In different markets, that's insane.
I know. Well, the problem is I think it was my conclusion, and gosh, I hope I don't get sued by any of this.
You haven't used any names.
You're right, I haven't. So there we go.
Suck it.
But the reality was, part of the reason why it did so well is they were very smart at marketing. Now, I will say this. I owe a lot of my skills to this company. Number one, they taught me I was smart because I
Hard Rock will beat that out of you.
to do systems and learned that I am a true Virgo in that, like, I know exactly how to set something up. I know how to execute it, and I know how to do it on time. And I can generally talk to people pretty nicely, even in tough situations. I learned that I'm actually good at math, which I didn't think I was. And I learned that I can be a boss. And I didn't know any of those things. So as much as I complain about this company, it was like exactly what I said before. It's like all the skills. It was like an amalgamation of all the things I've ever done. That's how it came to real estate, because all of those skills I use today. One of the biggest skills I have, and I really should be careful how I say this.
Nah, let it rip.
I learned how to get to yes in that job.
Great. We'll leave that there.
Yes.
I don't want to push past that. Okay, great. That's amazing. So you are in real estate today. You love it.
Yes.
You people will give all your socials and everything at the end so people can learn more about that. And then we're going to get into the specifics because I have a bunch of questions as far as we'll get there. So if you were looking back on all of your, like all the points that got you to real estate, if you had another option on the table, like, hey, Jen, you could pivot and you could do fill in the blank, would you change? Or is this a dream?
I would just say that I would never limit myself to only doing one thing.
That's a good answer.
I just can't. I can't imagine that in my life. I'm kind of a little too scattered in the way that my focus is, which a lot of people are telling me I've got ADHD.
I love armchair experts. I love it. Where's Dax Shepard when you need him?
I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do, but also
you're getting shit done. Who cares?
Fine.
Yeah.
Who
So
cares?
what?
Yeah. But I'm very scattered. Like, I'm always doing 6 things at once. So would I want to do? Here are all the things I would be open to, just in case anybody's listening. Put me on a show. I would love to like be on a home show and like build things. If I probably would redo college and I wasn't so set on being an actor, I'd probably go into props and art department. As far as like real estate itself, I'd love to flip houses. I think I'd be really good at it. It's just like opportunity. When will it knock? It will knock eventually, and I'll pivot to that. But I love real estate. I love the business of real estate. And I think it's a job that you can plan your own hours. You can work as much as you want or as little as you want, which means you're your own business person and you're working 24/7. So, you're working all the time. But if I want to take a trip or a vacation, I can also do that. And if you're nice to people, people will cover for you when you're gone. It's really quite simple. Just be nice to people.
What?
And genuine.
No.
Don't be an asshole.
Relax, Jen. You're getting preachy. We don't need to be nice.
Listen here.
We don't need to be nice.
Don't be an asshole.
No. Cut necks, knock down knees. Okay. All right. Well, that is so good. Okay. So all right. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Moving
forward.
Yeah, we are. Jen and I both, Jennifer Brookley, real estate agent. Okay. Jen and I hope you enjoyed your apps. Let's move on to the entrees after a quick break. Can you astral project when I'm going to have people that'll give me commercial money so I'll need a break? Because I've been saying this since I started the podcast almost 4 years ago and I've not needed a break ever. Astral project. When is it happening?
Let's work on it.
Okay. Appreciate you.
I'll get you some.
Appreciate you. All right. We're back.
Yeah, we'll find some.
Yeah, that's on record. No sex shops. We're back and now it's time to move on to the entrees. Okay. Jen's never heard the podcast before.
Oh, sorry.
So she doesn't know anything
What
about...
is an entree?
Yeah, there you go. Okay. You know the first question. What was your first job ever?
My first job ever, which paid me and I was officially hired, was Jamba Juice.
Really?
in Bakersfield, California.
Did you one of my best girlfriends, shout out to Melanie, you're a badass.
Melanie.
She's the best. She worked at, I think it was either Jamba Juice or like Robex or whatever. And she said the smells eventually started to make her sick. Did you experience it? Because it's fruit.
It is fruit, and rotting fruit is terrible. That sounds to me like it was Robex and they probably didn't clean their store well.
Okay, great. Did you make your own shakes all the time?
Absolutely. One of my favorite things actually was, well, for one, they hired me, so there was that.
There's that.
My best friend at the time worked there. We were in high school, and so long story short, I grew up internationally. I went to high school in Kuwait. Halfway through my senior year, we got evacuated because we invaded Iraq.
What we did?
Yeah, with I think he was Bush.
Oh, I'm not familiar. I don't think I was alive yet. Stop. You laughed too hard at that, you asshole.
Yeah.
So in Kuwait. Okay, so you had.
So we got evacuated halfway through my senior year.
Damn.
And so what else do you do but fly back to the United States? And we lived with my best friend and her family, and our very good family friends, for 6 months. And I finished the second half of my senior year. To where, by the way, I just want to call out, I went to, obviously it was a private American school in Kuwait, because the reason is, well, it's obvious because the goal is to, well, for one, I don't speak Arabic.
But it's also a translated education. It's like
That's exactly right. I had to have the U.S. education because I knew I was going to go back to school. Well, my dad knew. I was going to go to college in the U.S.
I guess a lot of people may not know that. If you don't have military families in your orbit, you may not know that. But yeah, that feels very...
Yeah, you have to have some sort of translation like that. And so because of that, I actually got a D in chemistry.
Ma'am, chemistry blows.
It was terrible. I went back to the U.S. and did jack shit in chemistry and got 103%.
What? First of all, you can't do more than 100, Jen. That school made that
Incorrect.
up.
I got 100 plus in many of my classes, including economics, which I would say did not prepare me for real estate.
Of course not. And also, how are you getting over 100? You went to magic school.
No, I didn't go to magic school. I did, like a good girl that I am, because I didn't have a lot of friends because it was halfway through a senior year, and I kind of hung out with my friends' friends.
Yeah.
And all of the extracurriculars that I used to do, which is like volleyball and theater, and like I couldn't just jump in.
That would be
so
brutal.
I just did like boring school and like hung out at the quad. And like
blame Saddam Hussein for that. That really fucking sucks.
I blame a lot of people for that. But yeah, and so I did well in school, in public school.
Wait, you have to explain to me, how are you getting over 100?
Oh, right.
How is that possible?
Extra credit.
Would they like put that on the record for you? Is like she got
I have no idea. That was just the grade at the end. I mean, it was an A. So I guess I don't know if that calculates into like your GPA or whatever.
Well, you could, for AP classes, you would get, at least where I went, you would get like your points were higher.
Apparently I shouldn't say all, but a handful of the teachers were like, why aren't you in AP? And I was like, it was really hard where I was at.
You're like, this shit I'm sleeping on.
I'm like, I didn't even know that was an option.
You're getting a D overseas.
Yeah, I was like, come on now. So, So anyway, so we went to school there, and then Michelle and I, my BFF at the time.
She's now dead.
She's not dead.
Oh.
She's in San Diego, and we are still friends, but we have lost touch. She has a beautiful family, and we're all very busy, but we're still very good friends.
She just flicked off the camera. I don't believe you, Jen.
We're still friends. No, we are. And but anyways, she got a job at Jamba Juice. I got a job at Jamba Juice. So I got to work like, by it wasn't called the Quad. What was it? Like a outdoor shopping center mall area in there with my best friend.
That's really fun.
It was great. It was so fun. And it's kind of like, because I worked there in high school, I got to pick up the job when I went to college.
At Jamba Juice?
At Jamba Juice. And
how long did you stay with them?
I was with Jamba Juice. Gosh, I didn't even think about that. All throughout. So like, I think 4 years.
Dang.
Jamba Juice? Is that right? No, 3 years. 3 years. Because 2 years in college, 1 year half a year in high school. No, because then I did summer. So I don't know, like 3 years-ish, give or take.
That's loyal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was great. Jamba Juice was like the best job. And like when we'd get mad at customers who'd come in, or they'd be like super rude because they didn't understand it was literally juice
And sugar.
and smoothies.
Yum.
So much sugar.
Get it in my mouth right now.
We would just throw a ton of fiber.
So you make them poop their pants.
That's right.
Wait, that's a great get. I feel like I want to do that now to people.
You know what?
Just accidental fiber.
It is the most sanitary way to get back to somebody.
Yeah.
Like I would never, ever, ever do anything to anybody's food. Like I would never spit in it. I wouldn't not wash my hands. Like I wouldn't put my hair in it. Like I
Relax,
would never do
hero.
anything like
All
that.
right.
That's so horribly gross. I'm
but
sorry.
but it's also good vengeance. But go ahead. It's gross.
It's
on
I would
record.
just never do that. But I
Hero.
will fiber the shit out of you.
Literally.
Literally. I will dump 6 fiber boosts right in your drink and I will say you have a great day.
I kind of love that. Would they be like, wow, this tastes kind of gritty and sandy? Would they ever bring
I
them
mean,
back?
I never had any complaints.
That a girl.
So really, I think I was just helping people lose weight.
That's right. Accidental diuretic.
You're welcome.
How many customer service jobs have you had?
Okay. Shoot, I didn't count.
Jen,
I mean,
did I spring this on you today?
probably let's okay.
Okay, Jamba Juice is one.
Juice. Okay, there was Jamba Juice. There was Frisco's.
Oh, you worked at Frisco's? Did
You
you
know
make
about
crazy money? They're a chain.
Kind of.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I don't know if we're thinking of the same place.
Maybe not. There used to be one on Santa Monica Boulevard, like in Santa Monica. It's like a little, it's on the higher-ish end.
Oh, different restaurant.
Okay, just
I
kidding.
worked at Frisco's, which is a roller skating waitress.
Oh my god!
I was a roller skating waitress. Yeah.
Oh,
So that was
is
in
not
Long
the
Beach.
same-
There's a
oh
place
my
in
gosh.
Downey and in City of Industry. I think City of Industry is the only one that's still open. And then it used to be at the Los Coyotes Diagonal in Long Beach.
Oh my god!
I was a roller skating waitress. Yeah.
Wait, we're going back to that. Put a pin in that. We're
Put it on.
so
Right.
keep counting.
wait. One. So Frisco's. Oh man. Let's see. After that, so then I worked. Okay, bartending, but it was still with Frisco's, so but that's different positions.
All right, I wrote that down. Okay.
Let's see. I was a bartender in London.
Oh,
Oh shit! I forgot Bonagente. I worked at the Italian restaurant in
That's
Long
made
Beach
up.
too.
okay.
It's real, I promise.
Bonagente.
Bonagente.
That means beautiful people, doesn't it?
I have no idea.
I think it does. I made
cool.
that up. Bartender.
I worked.
in London.
Are we counting ticket sales?
Is
Okay,
that
yeah.
customer service, Jen? Is your brain broken?
Yeah. Ticket sales. And then I did. Let's see. I moved back. Hard Rock.
Oh boy.
Catering.
Oh god.
Oh, I also forgot I catered 2 different places. I worked as a in between the shows at the Orange County Performing Arts Center. Did drinks there.
Drinks at OC.
So bartending there, and then
Wait, you said catering at 2 different places. What were they?
you
Who
know,
cares? Just 2 places.
the big places in LA, the big companies.
Oh, I got fired from one of them
We'll have to talk
because I
about
wanted to
that.
hang out with my boyfriend. Oh, those
You
were the
had
days.
boyfriends?
No, girl,
That's
100
so
years ago.
nice.
100 years ago.
I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, great question. I have forgotten.
I have definitely forgotten. It's like dust in the wind.
She's very available though, folks. So am I. her body's not dust, just her memories.
True that, and other things.
Here we go. Drinks. You passed out drinks.
Okay. Drinks. Okay, what I did that. Then I was here. Oh, I worked at Westside Rentals.
Oh God.
That was definitely customer service.
Strong opinions.
I worked at.
Well, you can't say the name of the. Just say yogurt place. I'll say yogurt place.
Pizza place.
Yep, yogurt place, pizza place.
Oh, I also went door to door for filming locations.
Ma'am, you were a location scout, finder,
I
like
wasn't
the,
a scout. I just had to get the signatures for the permits.
Ooh.
So my very
Chile.
first day on the job, quick. They dropped me off in Venice, and we're like, okay, knock on all these doors. It was like 7:30 at night.
That's
Get
a
some
way. That's how you
signatures.
get shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Venice is not safe,
Oh, I know.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, okay.
and you're fucking. What they put us through.
I know.
They probably were laughing in the car. Like,
Probably.
she
They're
might
like,
be dead.
"See you in an hour."
Oh, good Lord.
But I did that, and then
Okay.
this, and then real estate. Oh, I worked at the Library Ale House for a hot minute doing serving, and I know I'm forgetting something, but I think that's most of it. Is
9,
that
10,
right?
11, 12, 13, 14. I got 14.
That sounds about right. Sure.
Yeah, that feels
If I
right.
think of something, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there'll be a quiz later. So
Great.
Okay, library ale house, and then real estate, and here
then
we
real
are.
estate.
Here we are today.
All right.
I think real estate is heavy customer service. So actually 15. I hadn't written it down yet. Okay. Well, I want to hear all about the roller skating and City of Industry, so I'm going to work that into a question later. But which was your favorite of all of those jobs?
Probably being a
has to
roller
be.
skating
It
waitress.
has to be.
I sang, I danced, and I served food.
Girl. They shout out to, I can't think of his name. Kopp is his last name. Michael Kopp. No, he was a former guest of the podcast.
Oh,
it's
great.
good. Crop. Who
Yeah.
cares? What am I doing?
He really made an impression.
He really did. He really landed. He worked at that Broadway bar in New York City where they have to
my
sing.
gosh. You know what? I did hear that episode.
Yeah. And
I listened to the podcast.
Eric Michael Kropp.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. And he said
fun.
it was the best job he's ever had. He was like, it made the most money he's ever made. Did you?
I did not make a lot of money.
Really? You were singing,
No.
dancing, and skating, and
Let
they
me
weren't.
tell you
It's City of
why.
Industry.
It's a college town.
Yeah.
College kids don't tip.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, it's that simple.
I got it like that.
Yeah.
Wait, why would you work so hard for no tips then? I'd stop singing and dancing immediately if I was getting stiffed.
I wasn't getting stiffed. It wasn't very busy. It was a new restaurant, so I helped open it. So I've actually opened 2 locations.
Opening is so awful.
So hard. But
Opening's silly.
it was fun, and like I was like one of the people who had worked there a little longer. I was the girl who kept their skirt longer. They called me mom.
Ew.
Which was
And you were in
so
your
annoying.
20s.
I know.
What?
Because I didn't wear tiny short skirts because I have a big butt.
You have a great butt.
I mean, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's much larger than these tiny little girls who could pull their skirts up and bend over, and you still don't see their ass because there wasn't one.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
So
Mine always looked super long, but I'm like, it had to cover the butt.
goods.
Yeah.
Wait, so you wouldn't make very much money, but you would still sing, dance, and skate?
Yeah.
Was it just for you? You were just like, screw it, I don't
mean,
care.
it was a job. I could pay my rent with it.
Oh, you could?
Oh, yeah.
Were you living out in LA and working in City of Industry?
No. This was during college. So I was working, and actually, I wasn't working in City of Industry at the time. I was working in Long Beach.
Oh, in Long Beach.
So
You said that.
we opened that. So I started in City of Industry just to train and stuff, and
Got
then
it.
moved there. And then I basically told them I wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
And they were like, but would you like to be a bartender?
You're like, yes, I would right
And
now.
I was like, yeah.
Would you have to roller skate behind the bar?
No.
Hey,
That
fall
is
and crack your head
unsafe.
open. Yeah,
That
it
is
would.
unsafe.
Wait, did you ever fall?
I
That's a yes.
did fall.
Yeah, you did.
But I will tell you, okay, so this is what happened. We hired a new girl. Bless her. Which, first of all, when I got hired, they were like, can you skate? And I was like, absolutely. I went out and bought skates that
Day and taught yourself.
and went and
Yeah.
got circled by this freaking 5-year-old at the skating rink. But by the end of the day, I could skate and I could turn around. She knew.
Alexa agrees.
Thank you, Alexa. And so I went, got the job. She was new. So I'm like, I don't remember what it's like to be new. It's no big deal. I was carrying 2 huge steaks.
Ma'am.
Because people order steaks.
You're eating steaks.
It's ridiculous.
I love steak, but like you're not gonna skate it out to
She
me.
is barreling around the corner, this girl. And I
Ma'am.
was like, oh no.
You could just see
it's
it.
happening. So it was like, okay. Yeah. Wham. Right into me. I fall on my butt, both plates intact.
Not a girl.
Meals perfectly fine. The guy comes over, shoves the plates on somebody else. This is the manager at the time, who was outrageous. And he picks me up and then he looks at the ground. And I was like, are you looking to see if anything broke? And he was like, oh, well, I was just checking the floor to see if like there were any cracks or anything. And I was like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
First of all,
Ask
it is
if I'm okay.
marble.
Yeah.
I am not that heavy. My butt is not that big.
Oh, he was implying you broke the fucking
He was
ground.
looking. I mean, I hit the ground
Man.
really hard. I hit the ground really, really hard. Really bruised my tailbone. It was rough. But I was so mad at him. This is the same manager that, by the way, when we were starting our orientation, he was like, and you know, I know how girls sometimes have things that happen during the month, and like, you know,
You can't say period, you idiot.
no, that's too descriptive and too specific, right?
Oh, so
Because
we just
that's
have
a
things
thing.
that good. Then
Things,
can I call
you know,
out for not wanting to be here?
things that happen during the month? And if
Shoot
you
me.
need to, just make sure you give us plenty of time if you're not going to be able to make it.
I really can't handle. I can't handle.
I mean,
this.
the uniform was a tiny pink skirt
Yeah, it's gonna.
and a
it's-
tight t-shirt
Yeah.
and a big pink bow. I mean, it was really cute, but still.
Wait, so he looks to see if your asshole cracked the ground.
Yes.
Butthole. Better,
Yes.
funnier. He looks to see if your butthole cracked the ground. I can't stop using butthole. It's so good.
It's a good term.
So, and then doesn't see if you're okay. And then
No.
you finish the shift? Or did someone delivered those steaks?
Someone delivered the steaks, which were perfectly intact.
Ma'am.
Nothing fell off the plate. I was very proud of myself.
I mean, I would be too.
I pride myself in my hard work.
You do work your ass off. Literally.
I mean, literally
See
that
what
day I
just
did. I think I still remember we used to dance to Proud Mary.
That makes me so like I love the idea theoretically of being able to perform and wait on tables, because it's like at least you're tangentially doing the thing that you actually want to do.
Right.
But by the 15th time I had to do a little scoot skate singing Proud Mary or like shuffling my arms in front of me, I think it would take about 15 times, and then I would just actually like want to end my own situation.
It's really funny. I never hated it.
Really?
I never hated it. And you know what else? I'm not a dancer. I actually don't like dancing.
Wow.
Like at all.
I just love that you pick this job that does not match any of your skill sets except for singing.
Yeah, and singing was like you're singing along with the track.
No, you have a good voice.
I mean,
You do.
I do love to karaoke.
You have a good voice. We are not doing this here.
yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay, so that was your favorite, even with the bruised tailbone.
Yep.
And you got right back up and you started dropping trays
Yeah.
and doing, good for you.
Easy.
Oh, enjoy
I mean,
your youth.
You know, we can handle a lot.
We sure can.
Us women.
Us women,
folk.
especially when we have something mysterious that happens once in the month and then we become ogres.
We may or may not need to call off work because, we just can't because things are so difficult.
these
my.
fan me. All right, what was your least favorite? I bet I know. Go ahead.
My least favorite. Yeah, I mean, honestly, actually, my least favorite was going door to door and getting signatures.
Has to be.
That actually was my least favorite.
Has to be.
Yeah, because nobody wants you to knock on their door.
No one.
And here's the thing. As a realtor, like, they still suggest you go door knocking and you knock. And I hate doing it. I will do it if I need to. But, like, I don't like being bothered at my house. I imagine other people don't. And that's the thing too, is like everybody used to think we were there like politically.
Yes.
Side for like Democrats or Republicans or whatever. And immediately whatever side they were not on, they'd shout things at me. And I'm like, it's not for that, it's not for that. Or they'd be like, get out of here. We don't want you filming here. And like, I never understood that. I'm like, you live in
LA.
Los
What do you
Angeles.
think?
Like, of course we're going to do that.
Also, it brings billions of dollars to the economy that benefits you currently.
That is exactly right. And probably half those people were in the industry in some form
I'm
or fashion.
certain.
But nobody wants to see it or deal with it.
Because it's work. Shut up. That would have been my least favorite too. Were you ever scared?
No. I have a problem where
Yeah, you are kind of fearless.
I don't really gosh. That's me knocking on wood.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really have a fear of things. And I think probably that's a lot because I grew up, in different places and having different experiences.
You literally got evacuated from your home senior year because of the invasion in Iraq. Like, yeah, I don't think I'd fear much either.
When I lived in Long Beach, I lived in this shitty neighborhood. Correction. I lived in a neighborhood that everybody else said was shitty that I was like, it feels fine. Here's the deal. All you have to do, know your neighbors.
That's it.
Don't see anything.
Yeah. Don't be a snitch.
Don't be a snitch.
That's it.
Be nice to people. Oh, right.
nice.
I think I already said that. Be nice to people. Know your neighbors. Be grateful. Like,
So like be a human in the world that's not an asshole.
I mean, gosh, it feels simple.
It does, doesn't it? If only.
Feels simple. But like, I was there twice when at like 3 a.m, the cops are knocking on my door.
Ma'am.
When I'm by myself. And I am grateful too that I'm a big true crime buff. And the first thing I'm like, show your badge.
What a cliffhanger. That's where we're going to end because my recorder stopped working because my batteries died. But if you join us next week, you will hear the rest of that story, plus so many more with the lovely and talented and hilarious Jennifer Brookley, whose socials and all of the things will be in the show notes. So be sure and check that out. And join us next week for the remainder of the stories. Thank you folks so much for listening. Good night.